Claire from Created the Otter Way. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up! In the UK. Thank you for joining me today. It's exciting times at Stampin' Up! At the moment. We've just got a new mini catalogue launched and a little celebration brochure going on. So every time you order over £45, you can choose something free. I'm fairly new to YouTube, so if you like my videos, please subscribe. And if you like what I make, you can shop with me here in the UK. Just look for me under Created the Otter Way, and you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook. So today's make is this beauty. Can you see that? It's a Triple Easel Card. How fantastic is that? Keep knocking the camera in my excitement. Really simple to make. It's something that I saw on a fellow crafter's YouTube channel, Mixed Up Crafts. Amazing makes on there. If you haven't checked her out, go and have a look. And I've just made it a Stampin' Up! Style one with just the beautiful papers. These papers are actually free in the celebration brochure. What more could you want? Free papers. Okay, let me show you some of the other patterns just quickly. So it's focusing on polar bears and penguins and little foxes, and they're just equally as beautiful on the other side. How about that for a man's card? Look at that snowman. It makes you feel excited to think of the winter months, even though over here we're struggling with the summer. Not much sun around at the moment. So lots of spots, lots of stripes that you could actually use all year round, those two colours. It features lots of the new in colours that Stampin' Up! Do. And today we are actually going to use the Fresh Freesia card. Not really played with that colour very much. It's sort of a light purpley, almost pinky. I don't know if the camera's picking that up very well. But how do we make this? This does fold flat to go in an envelope. And it just stands up so lovely. I mean, I expect, like me, most of you have made one easel card before, but I've never made a triple one like this. So it's really easy. Oh, by the way, did you see the little mouse? So I've used punches on this, just figured it would cut out all the die cutting. So there's a new penguin punch. Punches are a really good way of crafting without too much effort. Stampin' Ups are really solid as well. And when I saw this one, that definitely looks like a mouse to me. I don't know if you can pick that up. So I decided to try and turn it into a mouse. It's not the greatest, I've got to be honest. But all I did, there's the mouse shape. Cut a heart in half to make him some ears, and added a little face. I think it's cute enough. I'm sure there are better ways to do it, but it suits me. The other punches that I've used on here are the pine tree. Again, perfect for all year round, not just for Christmas. And the very useful everyday label punch. You can see how battered mine is, how much it gets used. One of my favourite all-time punches. Right, enough waffling. I hate it when I watch a YouTube video and there's loads of waffling. So let's get down to the make. So if I put that there, for those of you that want it, you can see what you're going to need. Basically 3 pieces of A4 card, any colour of your choice, and some designer series paper. Now obviously Stampin' Up! Make it really easy with coordination. When you get some designer series paper, there's always a piece in there that tells you what coordinates with those colours. So for the Penguin Playmates, it's Basic Black, Balmy Blue, Calypso Coral, Fresh Freesia, Just Jade, Misty Moonlight and Soft Sea Foam. So for the first one I made, I used Soft sea foam, which is like a green colour. So not traditional Christmas colours, but I think it came out really well. For the second one, we are going to use Fresh Freesia, okay? So that's just this colour here, and we need 2 pieces. So the first thing we're going to do is make our base cards. So we need 3 base cards. One is 5.5 by 5.5, one's 4.5 by 4.5, and one's 3.5 by 3.5. And that will give you 3 square cards. So how I'm going to do that, I'm going to take my piece of A4, and on the short side, I am going to cut it at 5.5. So there's a big chunk of it we're not going to use just yet. Then I'm going to turn it on to the long side, and it's 5.5 that I want. So I'm going to double that to 11. Okay. And that will give me the right size card, that one. Again, there's a little bit there. You can put that to one side for something else. Then to turn that into a card, I need to score it in the middle. But because it's an easel card, it also needs an extra bit. So I am going to score it at 2 3/4. It will all become clear in a moment. Don't forget, move your cutting blade out of the way. It just, so stressful when you cut. Your last bit of card it usually is, isn't it? You're just about to just make this amazing make that's been buzzing in your head for ages, and you cut the card wrong. Anyway, 2 3/4, score it. Okay, basically that's half of 5.5, and then score it again at 5.5. Okay, and that, right, if I fold that over very quickly, that is the shape you want for the base of your first easel card. So it's just like that. And then to turn that actually into a card, you then cut a 5.5 piece for the front that is going to stick up like that. But I'll show you that in a minute. So that's your first base card done, your 5.5 inch one. So the second one was 4.5. So you get your next sheet of A4 and you cut it on the short side at 4.5. Bring that cutting blade back, and it's 4.5. Now that bit you're going to need, so don't put it too far out of reach. And it's 4.5, so double that is 9. So 4.5 by 9. 9 is on the long side, obviously. So this is your second card. So again, we've got to do 2 score lines to make it into an easel card. So the first one is going to be 2 1/4. 2 1/4, because that's half of 4.5. Then 4.5. I never knew that I would be so into doing loads of maths. Maths is not my strong point. In fact, if you ask my husband about it, he would just laugh. But I've never practiced maths so much in all my life doing card making. So that is the second one, the one that's 4.5. So again, that's the base. And then you need to cut a 4.5 inch square that's going to make your second easel card. Third one, the strip that you cut off just now, we need to cut that at 3.5. So there's just enough to get 2 of the cards out of an A4 sheet. So cut that off again. You've got that tiny, tiny bit. Come on, who keeps that? Yeah, me too. Okay, 3.5. And so that makes it 7. Did you see me pause then? 3.5 and 3.5 is 7. So we're going to cut that at 7. Bit you don't need. Okay, so now we need to do the 2 score lines. Half of 3.5 is 1 3/4. So that's your first score line. Get rid of that cutting blade. 1 3/4. and 3.5. See, we're whizzing through this. That's our third one. Okay, now I haven't burnished these, I'm just folding them. Now the bit that you had left over, you can actually get the top bit of that, and that needs to be a 3.5 inch square, and that makes your third base. Ta-da! That is it. So if I bring those in, you can already see there's 3 cards there, 3 bases, 1, 2 and 3. Now basically that's it, we just need to decorate. You've got your 3 squares as well, okay, so just put those with the right one. Now how do we decorate it? Now I like to do a couple of layers. Mixed Up Craft Lady did really lovely shiny silver paper. I wanted it to really pop, so I'm using the basic white as my layer and then the designer series paper as my top layer. So which card should we start with? Should we start with the small one? Because no, let's start with the biggest. I prefer the little ones, but let's do the biggest. So this is our biggest one. So you need a layer, so you need 2 layers, whichever is your chosen layer, to be 1/4 inch smaller. So 5.5 inch card, so 5.25 inch layer. So you do one that's going to be on the inside. Right, let's find a glue that works. So we will whiz through this. So this is, well, if the glue works. Oh, do you know what? I tested this before I came on camera and it worked beautifully. Okay. No kittens around today either. They've gone off climbing trees again, I expect. They're after the birds, which I feel so bad. Okay, so that's 5.25 by 5.25. So that's inside my card, okay, like that. Now this bit, obviously don't worry about doing anything to that at the moment, but this is going to be the front of your card. So again, you need your 5.25 by 5.25, okay. Now to layer, the designer series paper is 5 inch. So you need to decide which 2 patterns you want. You could have the same, but it's 2-sided, so why not showcase both sides of the paper? So one is going to be standing up like that and is going to be seen, and one's going to be inside and won't be seen. So the first one I have done like that, and that's going to be my stand-up bit, and the inside is going to be that, the snowflake side. So let's stick that on the inside. So to cut down some of the time that you have to listen to me waffling, I've prepared some of them. Oh. Use Tumbo glue because it gives you a wiggle room and it just runs out. Okay. So again, the first white layer was 5.25, and then the designer series paper layer 5. So that's the inside of my card. Now, I've already stuck this side onto this square, so now I'm going to stick this whole thing onto my square. Do you know, I might have to go and get some glue, which is a bit of a pain, isn't it? Oh, this one's decided to work. Oh, a bit too much. Look at that. I'll have to spread that out a bit because that's going to be coming out everywhere. Do you know what? They said to me, do YouTube videos. You like talking to yourself. It's easy. I'm not sure that it's easy. Okay. Especially when you've got a gluey finger and you don't know where to put it. That goes on there. Like so. So that Now I need to turn it into an easel. So what I do, the reason we folded that is because that's going to be that stand up bit. Now where's my bone folder? I'm just going to burnish that there so it's quite sharp on there, sharp fold. And I just am going to put glue on the bottom half because I want it to stand up. Now I'm confused myself which glue I'm using. Okay, so have that folded flat. Don't panic, only half of it is going to stick if you've only put glue on the bottom half. So just press that for a moment, and then when you're happy, have a look. Ta-da! It's hard for you to see because of the angle, but basically it's like that. Can you see? So that's your first easel card. So now you just repeat that for the other ones. So this is the one that's 4.5, and I've already done one bit, and I know that that's going to be my stand up, the bit that everyone's going to see. So I'll just put some glue on that. Oh, the glue's free flowing now, isn't it? Now when you've got a stripe pattern like this, bear that in mind which way round you want the stripes, portrait or landscape. So I'm not going to stick that for a minute, I'm going to do the inside of the card. So although that's got a really nice pattern, my other one's like that. So I think I'm going to stick that side down. I'm sure the polar bear won't mind. So that is going on. Now these layers were 4.25 for the white card and 4 for the DSP. And I know that I want the stripes to be on show, so this is the inside of my card. So that's my inside piece, like so. And then the same thing again, let's burnish those fold lines. How quick is this make? And you can all make easel cards. I'm sure you can. Well, you can after this video anyway. Okay, now this is the bit. Do I want it that way round or that way round? So if you have it that way round, it sort of gives height to the card. So I am going to have it that way round. So again, I've only put glue on the bottom half. I'm just lining that all up, pressing on the bottom. I haven't put too much glue on that it squirts out everywhere. And that is the second easel card. So again, ta-da! So now I've got 2 made. The third one, I think I've probably glued them already. So the white squares are 3.25 and the designer series paper is free. Now I want to bring it over because I want to make sure before I stick it which one I want on. Do I want the polar bear? I think the penguin will be covered anyway, or do I want the trees? Because I've got that pattern, but actually no, I think I do want the polar bear. So I'm going to put that on the inside. Do you know what? For me, that was a quick decision. I struggle with this beautiful paper that Stampin' Up do. Absolutely struggle. Which side to use? Which side to use? I just like looking at it, stroking it, and not using it. Okay, down the bottom is going to be our... Oh, I'll put that on without the... Let's go ahead now because I don't want that glue to... So no mistakes in crafting, just happy accidents. So all I've done is glued the purple, the Fresh Freesia one on first, but still only done half. and now this one will go on the top of that, and it's still easy peasy to do. Okay. Ta-da! 3 cards. Okay, now how do I put them together? Right, so you open the first one up, and what you probably need to think about at this point is what envelope you are going to put this in. If you've got one of the old envelope makers that Stampin' Up used to do, perfect, because you can make one to fit this. If you've got envelopes that you collect for some reason, I'm just saying that because that's sort of what I do. You can go and try your envelopes out and do that. Otherwise, you can measure. I think in Sam's video she said about 1 inch of this sticking out. So you've got your grid paper as your background, use that. So I roughly want to do about 1 inch, I think. Or I might just do it by eye. So that's about right. So you lift the biggest one up so you can just see the inside, and put some glue on this card, the second card, but obviously not right down the bottom because that's going to stick out. The bit that you think is going to stick out, don't put any glue on, but the rest put some glue. So if I wanted to stick mine out 1 inch or 1.5 inches, I would leave that amount. Oh, glue. Come on, glue fairy, give me some glue. Look at that, right at the end. Okay, so I have lined that up on my grid paper. So I've put it there so I can see. Let's bring it down 1 more square so you can see it as well. Okay, and I think I'm going to do it by eye, just because that's the way I roll. And I'll try and get it in the middle as well. I think that's about right. So that's my second one. And then I opened that one up. So I've now got both cards open, and I can see this one. And I'm going to do the same with this one. So if I put that on my squares again, and I'm going to put glue on 3/4 of it if the glue comes out. That's me, I had the wrong glue. There you go. Look at that. Thank you, glue fairy. Okay. And then this one, I think about there. Press that down. Okay, and that's my third one. Now that's got nothing to prop it up, so you could do lots of things. So on my original one, I wanted to be consistent with using the punch there, the punch there, and the punch there. So on my bottom piece, on the bottom card, I just put a strip. So I put a strip of card with some designer series paper over the top, but to higher it up, I put it on dimensionals, okay? And that just meant that it props it up there. So that's probably what I'll do on this one again. Then your second one is automatically propped up by the first card. So, moving you off camera, let's see. Can you see that one, hang on, that one is propped up by that. And then the third one is again propped up by the second card. I haven't put embellishments on it so you can see. So it is like that. And that helps it all stand up. The only one you need to put something in the way to make it stand up is that. So that's my second card. And to close it, it just goes over top of each one. And this is my first one with all my embellishments on. So, oh, snowflakes thing. So, go play, have fun, share with me your makes, leave me a comment, and don't forget, if you like what you see, subscribe or shop with me. Thanks for watching. Bye.